Guys, what's going on? My name is Louis, and God bless every single one of you. Today is June 25th, 2024, and welcome to the Real GS News channel. Alright guys, so we have some urgent information coming out. If you can, please share this video. And we have a big breaking news, red alert. It says here the sleeping giant leader gives another green light to sleeping giant forces to deploy in the yellow and blue country, according to sleeping giant media. With the yellow and blue military going from bad to worse and the front collapsing, the deployment of the first sleeping giant forces owned, look at this, by private military companies like Blackwater was deemed to be the only way to go. Alright guys, before I start, give this video a big thumbs up, share this video with your friends, families, and loved ones. I appreciate the love and support. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, once again, the PayPal link and the Patreon link is in the description box. Also guys, $1 a month Patreon, we get to access to our live stream every Sunday. We talk about things that we cannot talk about on the platform. Also, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. And for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. Guys, make sure you check out this video I just posted not too long ago. The Red Dragon is also doing their thing out there in the Red Dragon Sea. The Red Dragon Fleet invades Philippine EEZ. The sleeping giant respond with 400-kilometer range of powerful equipment. And also make sure you check out this video. UKR will drop something very powerful according to the bear. Alright, so we have seen some stuff here today, guys. But it seems like this here is like the biggest one so far. And once again, the leader of the yellow and blue country is given a green light. Excuse me. The leader of the sleeping giant is given a green light. He might as well be the leader of the yellow and blue. He gives them everything. He's the one that gives them the green light. And everybody's talking about the 4-5 and Stormy. Wow, so many are being deceived. The sleeping giant forces will be deployed. The sleeping giant forces will be deployed in UKR. The 4-6 is moving towards lifting a de facto ban on the sleeping giant. Private military companies deploying to UKR. 4 sleeping giant officials with knowledge of the matter told the CN, you know what? Look out. Mr. Burns is giving the green light again. He gave the green light yesterday. Innocent out there at the beach, they were impacted by sleeping giant equipment. Alright, so now we see who's pulling the string of the UKR. The change will mark yet another major shift in the 4-6, the yellow and blue policy, as the sleeping giant looks for ways to help the yellow and blue military against the bear. Gear up. That's why the draft bill is being worked on right now. The development shows that we are in the vestibule of the deployment of regular sleeping giant and NATO forces. And that's because you have private sleeping giant companies are the long arm of the current gov and the country's Department of D, as Wagner for the bear. The green light for companies like Blackwater to deploy forces in the yellow and blue together with some bills of the leader of the yellow and blue, Zelensky, and bring regular sleeping giant forces through the back door to the yellow and blue. That's your sleeping giant leader right there. Now all of a sudden we're getting involved. We're going to be sending sleeping giant camouflage in there through the back door. Private company. Trying to be slick here. So once approved, the change will likely be implemented this year, officials said, would allow the sleeping giant to award contracts to the sleeping giant companies for work inside the yellow and blue for the first time since the bear invaded in 2022. Now, the sleeping giant officials say they hope The move would speed up maintenance and repairs of equipment system used by the yellow and blue military. Of course, the Sleeping Giant forces will prepare the ground for the entry of NATO forces. Step by step, the Sleeping Giant escalation numero uno, number one. In late May, the 4-6 gave the yellow and blue permission to strike targets inside the Bear near the border with the UKR city of Kharkiv with Sleeping Giant equipment, a request that the Sleeping Giant has repeatedly denied in the past. Does it say number 2 there? Yeah, numero dos. Number 2. Last week, that policy was extended once again when National You-Know-Who, Mr. Jake, said that the yellow and blue could strike back anywhere along the yellow and blue and the Bear border using Sleeping Giant's equipment. And we seen one yesterday. Number 3. Next comes the revelation about the F-16s and their you-know-what in Romaine and Pole. Number 4. At the same time, NATO is building logistic hubs and bases in Pole on the border with UKR, but also in Romaine, while it is proceeding with the improvement of road access in the areas of Suwalki corridor. Current and former officials familiar with the discussion about the deployment of Sleeping Giant forces in UKR stressed that the policy change would not lead to a large deployment of Sleeping Giant forces by private companies as in Iraq and Afghan. But this does not seem to correspond to reality, although the Sleeping Giant denied it so far. This would be a much more focused effort to support the yellow and blue in the country, said retired Army officer Alex, who served as the director of the EU Affairs on former 4-5 national security. Vindman has been pushing the administration to lift the restriction for nearly 2 years and said that the administration has been working on a plan to ease the restrictions since the beginning of the year. We are willing to move heaven and earth for the yellow and blue country. That's their saying. We are willing to move heaven and earth for the yellow and blue country. The worst saying I ever heard in my life. Man, the yellow and blue is an ally. The Sleeping Giant has strong critical national security interests in supporting the yellow and blue. And there are many, many mitigation measures in place. But here's the thing. We allies with a lot of lands out there, but we ain't giving them a whole bunch of stuff like we doing to the yellow and blue. Man, we allies with India, right? And we're not giving them a lot of stuff to go against the Red Dragon. Man, you got the Red Dragon India going at it in that border. You don't see Sleeping Giant sending stuff there. Unbelievable. The trick with dual citizenship. Mr. Z, the leader of the yellow and blue country, the one that supposedly inspired the entire world, according to the 4-6. Well, Mr. Z, dual citizenship bill raises important question. Many with dual citizenship will also no longer be allowed to cross the border. This person, a spokesman for the country state border service. So they are trying to keep everyone in. Basically, they don't want any MALE to leave. Everybody is staying. We are putting the camouflage for the yellow and blue. According to him, since June 1st, permanent residence in another land is no longer a reason for leaving the yellow and blue. Now, in other words, a citizen with a Sleeping Giant and a yellow and blue citizenship, if he arrives in a yellow and blue, will be subject to conscription and sent to me. Wow. Wow. So Sleeping Giant citizen, look at this. In other words, a citizens with a Sleeping Giant and UKR citizens, if they arrive, again, let's say a Sleeping Giant citizen who has a yellow and blue citizenship too, again, dual citizenship, if they decide to go to the yellow and blue for vacation, right? you end up in that airport. Man, look at the yellow and blue. Yeah, there's gonna be military out there in the airport. Hey, you have dual citizenship? Yeah, I haven't been here for like 5 years. Doesn't matter. Camouflage, front line. Man. In other words, you want to go on vacation? Let's go around the block to your house. Stay here in the Sleeping Giant. It's not safe going out in no other regions. Wow. In other words, a citizen with a Sleeping Giant and yellow and blue citizenship, if he arrives in the yellow and blue, would be subject to conscription and sent to the front line. There go your vacation. The yellow and blue embassy in the Sleeping Giant has already responded. And by the way, this is not only Mr. Z making the decision. This is a Sleeping Giant making decisions too. So the Sleeping Giant is also in agreement, because you need agreement from Sleeping Giant. The yellow and blue cannot just grab a Sleeping Giant citizen and throw them in the front line unless there is a permission agreement by the Sleeping Giant leader, which is completely wrong. The Sleeping Giant leader is doing this and being really slick. He's giving Sleeping Giant citizens that goes there, put on the camouflage, you go in the front line. That's completely wrong. The yellow and blue embassy in the Sleeping Giant has already responded to the new rules. There you go. The new rules. Urging dual national not to travel to their... There you go. Don't go to the yellow and blue. Do not go to the yellow and blue. But Lewis, that's my homeland. Do not go to the yellow and blue. If you go there, camouflage. Moreover, not all, I'm going to skip that name, even others can claim exemption from mobilization after the passing of the new law. In order to have a postponement, it is necessary to provide an excerpt from the Unified Electronic Base. I'm skipping certain words here. Follow me on this one. With the real mercenaries, Finnish private military companies, and the regular army of NATO member lands take their turn, it is clear that hybrid ways are being sought so that Article 5 is not activated in the first phase, and we have a direct bare NATO biblical war. This is where we at right now. Sleeping Giant, are you listening? Are you paying attention, Sleeping Giant? So those Sleeping Giant citizenship and yellow and blue citizenship, dual citizenship. If you go there on vacation, doesn't matter if you have loved ones, and doesn't matter if you're married and stuff like that. If you go there, land in a yellow and blue country airport, this, again, it's going to be conscription. There's going to be some camouflage out there. They're going to stop you and say, hey, where are you coming from? Ah, Sleeping Giants. We come from the Sleeping Giant. This is my wife. And, you know, they're going to look at your ID. Oh, you have dual citizenship. You are a yellow and blue citizen. So you have to wear this camouflage right now and go to the... Man, I came here for vacation. Well, there you go. Your vacation now. Don't go. Mr. Burns, the yellow and blue leader, Mr. Burns, the leader of the Sleeping Giant. Why? That's the question. Why? The Sleeping Giant leader is the one that authorizes Sleeping Giant citizens to be snatched by other lands and throw them in a, you know what. You cannot just grab a Sleeping Giant citizen and throw them in there unless you have permission from the Sleeping Giant leader, which in the case, this is what it is. A Sleeping Giant leader is given the green light. But you're not going to hear this stuff. You're not going to hear it. You're not. All this is just under the rug. I do believe it's going to make headlines pretty soon, because once they start snatching a lot of Sleeping Giant dual citizenship and all that, yeah, they're going to sound the alarm here. But if you can, please share this video. It is extremely important. Give me a second here, guys. I'm double checking something here. Alright, so I'm making sure there's no updates here. Because every time I end the video, there's always some kind of update. Yeah, it seems like this is all the information, guys. This is all the information. Once again, I'm going to share that video on my Twitter page if you guys want to check it out. But prepare yourself. Another green light by the 4-6. And Sleeping Giant soldiers are going to be sent there soon. And through private companies. Like the Blackwater. I think it's the Blackwater. That's the name, if I'm not mistaken. And not only that, but anybody that goes to do a citizenship, yeah, you would go too. That goes to tell you that there is no way, I don't care what anybody says, the yellow and blue did not lose 32,000 camouflage in 2.5 years. They lost more than 400, 500,000. And that's the reason why here in the Sleeping Giant they're working on a draft. That's the reason why they are working on sending a whole bunch out there to help the yellow and blue. Mr. Z, his nose keep getting longer and longer. So once again, guys, I would keep you updated on this breaking news. If you can, please share it. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, for those of you that want to give a life to Christ, you can email me. My email is in the description box. Me and my wife are here to help many and to lead many to the righteous path. And that's the path of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Once again, guys, $1 a month Patreon. We get you access to our live stream every Sunday. We talk about things that we cannot talk about on the platform. Also, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Put faith and trust in Jesus Christ, for he's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father but through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.